Okay. We're gonna cut this.
Should we?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna have to edit it. We starting over.
No. All right, so Blake, let me ask you this question. Bloopers. What's up, y'all? We're back. You just watched our fantasy football video, and I had to bring my guy Blake back for another episode. Today, we're going to be talking all about college football. This is our college football preview, and we are pumped up, to say the least. We are SEC guys, Alabama in the South, but we couldn't get on camera with our teams because we would have been fighting. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. So, and he's on the other team.
War Eagle.
So, anyways, going into this football season, there is so much to talk about. So make sure to stick around for this video. We're going to be giving you our players to watch, Heisman Hopefuls, toughest schedules in our mind, and then also talking about the college football playoff, who our predictions are for that, and everything you need to know about college football coming right up. Make sure you stick around for all of it. If you're new to the channel, what should they do?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, people. Question of the day. Who do you think will win the national championship and the Heisman? Okay? National championship and the Heisman.
Comment down below. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, make sure to comment down below. We'll be getting back to you on your predictions. We want to hear from you. Let's jump right into the video. And my first question, Blake, and I didn't ask you about these questions. I didn't let you know that these were coming.
All right.
So, is there anything better than college football?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. In the South, it's different here in the South, y'all. I mean,
I'm driving 10 hours to go watch Auburn play Oregon and Jerry World in just a couple of weeks. So, we live it.
You may want to do that because that may be the last meaningful game that Auburn plays all year long.
All right, well, it's nice being in the video, guys. I'm going to go start my own channel.
No, that's going to be a great game. That's going to be the game of the week. Obviously, it's game day, but I do think that's going to be the game of the first week to watch. That is a big game for both of these teams. If Oregon wins that, they could run the table, in my mind. Not necessarily winning it all, but making it to the college football playoffs. Justin Herbert, we're going to get into all of that. Great player, underrated player. No one stays up around here to watch him.
Yeah.
Gunslinger. My next question. That was an easy one.
Okay.
This one is a hard one. You mentioned all of your love for fantasy sports. Would you rather have NCAA football for a year and no fantasy football, or and no fantasy sports? I'm gonna make it even harder. And no fantasy sports, or have fantasy sports and no NCAA football?
Wow, that's a tough question because I grew up playing NCAA football on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox. So
I think we're on the wrong. I'm talking about like college football. You can't watch college football.
You said NCAA football.
That was, but no.
I thought you were talking about like playing a video game or playing.
No. Okay, let me ask that again. Okay.
Wait, okay, so what's the question?
Okay, so the question. Okay, so Blake.
Wait.
Okay.
We're gonna cut this.
Should we?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna have to edit it. We starting over.
No. All right, so Blake, let me ask you this question. Bloopers. Cut that. All right, so that was an easy question. This is actually a hard question. Of course, we all love college football. Would you rather have, for 1 year, college football and no fantasy sports at all, or fantasy sports and no college football at all for a year?
That's tough.
And is that a tough question?
Oh, absolutely.
It's tough.
Kind of pulling at my heartstrings because I'm a stats guy, so I get into all the fantasy sports. Mm-hmm. But my allegiance is to the Auburn Tigers, and so not being around that for a season would kill me.
But you say goodbye to your fantasy friends as well.
I know. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers.
I hear you. I'm with you.
I'm in it to win it. With the Auburn Tigers.
This would be a good year not to watch the Auburn Tigers.
We go to the Final Four in basketball. We go to the College World Series in baseball. We're getting to the college football playoff.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
You heard it here first on That Dude Sports.
I tell you what, if that does happen, this should make it everywhere.
Bold predictions.
That was bold. Bam. Tyler's 2019 bold predictions. Actually, that was Blake's bold prediction. I'm not putting my name on that. So, anyways, that's a very some of these would you rather questions are like so easy. It's like, of course I take that one, but that's tough.
That is a tough one.
I think I would take college football just because I love it. There's nothing like college football in the South.
Tailgating,
food,
Tiger Walk,
Alabama Roll Tide. We got new lights
Eagle
this
flying
year.
around the stadium
Game
before
day.
the kickoff.
I saw a meme, a video one of my buddies sent it to me on Instagram, and it was Nick Saban being like, and it was, how they have the letters. It was, will you be at any weddings or gender reveal parties on Saturdays in the fall? And he was like,
not. Absolutely not.
Don't invite me to your wedding this fall. Just kidding, Bailey. I'll be in your wedding. So the next topic that we're going to jump into, and really our first topic, those questions were great. Our top 5 players to watch. I think I even have 6 on here. But top 5 players to watch in this upcoming college football season. And my first one is Rondale Moore. And if you don't know that guy, get to know him really quickly.
Wide receiver at Purdue.
Freshman last year, he had 114 catches, 1,250 yards, and he also had like 200 rushing yards. Every time he touched the ball, it was scary. He was also a return guy, averaged over 30 yards a return on punts and kicks. And that doesn't sound like much, but that's incredible.
Oh.
That's incredible.
It completely changes the game for
Absolutely.
Purdue.
This guy, sky's the limit for him. Very fun player to watch.
Oh, definitely. Player number 2 on our list is Travis Etienne, running back at Clemson. This guy is electric.
That's a great word for him.
If you play fantasy football college,
it is a thing.
Then he needs to be on your draft board, and you need to take him as soon as possible because we know this Clemson offense, this Clemson team is great, but this Clemson offense, they're going to put up points, they're going to run the ball, and he's a do-it-all back.
He definitely is. He's the type of guy that's going to catch passes. Like you mentioned, the offense is going to be there with Trevor Lawrence and Joe Ross. Is Joe Ross?
Justin Ross. He's from Alabama.
Alabama guy. So 1,600 rushing yards last year, and that wasn't even with the full workload.
No.
Like, they had a good backfield last year. He wasn't the main guy. 24 touchdowns. He was the main guy, but starting the season, he was not the main guy. 8 in the Heisman rankings last year.
That's only going to go up.
Out of nowhere. So, as a running back, lights out. Probably one of the better running backs, if not the best running back in college football this year. Definitely a guy to watch in my mind. The third guy in our rankings, or in our players to watch, Jerry Jeudy. I feel like this guy, whether you're at Auburn, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, Ohio State, this guy is amazing.
I mean, I play college fantasy, and I took him with my second overall pick. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Auburn fan, but this guy is a stat sheet stuffer.
Right. Speaking of stats, he's averaged 2,000 yards a year, 14 touchdowns each year that he's played so far. And I think that he goes under the radar, and it's a large part the fact that all of the wide receivers for Alabama, Tua, he gets knocked because he is throwing to such a great wide receiving core. And
I mean, I could throw to those wide receivers.
And I could too. And I think that it works both ways. Like, they're amazing. I think he's going to be really good regardless. And I think that that's going to be a chip on his shoulder once he doesn't have these players.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't go to the Dolphins. I'm glad that what's his face? Josh Rosen. I'm glad
Rosen.
Rosen's now in Miami, so maybe Tua won't go to the Miami Dolphins. But when you look at Ruggs and Waddle, those guys are really good as well. But Jerry Jeudy, he is in the Julio Jones and Amari Cooper status. Actually, I'm going to say Julio Jones is a tier of his own. And then it's Jerry Jeudy Cooper. Really close.
Elite speed.
Oh, route running is incredible.
He can cut on a dime. He can catch anything. He's right up there at the top as one of the top wide receivers in college football.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's a cheat code, and I just want to make sure that he gets all the credit he's due, and he's not just another wide receiver that's really good because Tua and the offense is good. That dude's amazing. Probably going to go top 5 in the draft next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
another one that I really want to hit on here next is Grant Delpit, defensive back, LSU.
DBU?
I mean, they keep on turning them out year after year after year. You go all the way back to the Honey Badger and see.
He don't care.
He does not care one bit.
What he did in college football was absolutely amazing. Controlling a game from the defense and scoring touchdowns on his own.
And special teams as well. But yeah, that guy. But Grant Delpit, he's cut from the same cloth. He is a playmaker and a ball hawk. He completely shuts down one side of the field for that LSU defense. And so you definitely need to keep him on your radar. He's going to be a finalist in all the defensive awards. We know Ed Orgeron and that LSU Tiger defense is going to be rocking on Saturday nights in Baton Rouge.
They're tricky.
And so, yeah, he comes in on my list.
LSU, they do have some great defensive backs, along with a lot of the SEC. Defensive backs are from the SEC. Let's just be real. You know, Miami and all these other places think that they're DBU. Get out of here with that.
Turnover chain.
Especially Ohio State.
Who do they play?
You know they tried. Did you hear about this? They tried to trademark the word. You ready for this? The. How are you going to trademark the?
That's something that would only come out of the Big Ten.
Yes, that is such a Ohio State thing to do. So, anyways, I'm not going to give them that much time on my video right now.
Let's get back to the players that can do something.
Yeah, so my next player to watch.
Which number is this? Is this number 5? I think we have a few honorable mentions here.
Yeah, we're going to have more than 5, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be really quick with them. Justin Fields.
He won the starting job today.
He did win the starting job today.
Quarterback
probably
of Ohio State.
On Monday when you're watching this. Quarterback of the University of Ohio State. And
SEC transfer.
SEC transfer from Georgia. I really want to see what he can do. Number 1 quarterback coming out of high school. Sat out all year last year. I think it's going to be really incredible to see what he can do. Chip on the shoulder, to say the least. Thought he was coming in. Everything to prove. Another guy, one of the most underrated players in college football. Tell me if I'm wrong, but Jake Fromm.
I mean, the guy gets it done.
No, you're 100% right. But I think it's going to be fun to watch what Justin Fields can do. It's going to be tough. They lost a lot of talent coming off that Ohio State team. They lost the head coach. I think their head coach is going to be even – the head coach is going to be fine. But Justin Fields, definitely a player to watch, regardless if he's good or not. Everyone, all eyes on him. Let's see what he's all about. And let's see if Georgia messed up.
I mean, they
didn't.
They didn't because they're going to be just fine. But Ohio State definitely got a gem landing this transfer from Georgia. Next on our list, another transfer, Kelly Bryant, quarterback of the Missouri Tigers. We all know Kelly Bryant and what he is capable of. Kelly Bryant, he's your true dual threat quarterback. And if there's one player that has anything to prove in the NCAA this year, it's Kelly Bryant.
Maybe more than anyone.
Oh, absolutely. He's coming in to this Missouri team who is expected to compete for an SEC East championship. And he's coming in. And he's got some things to prove.
I think there's one other guy that has some things to prove, and it's the same situation, believe it or not. Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
they're literally in the same situation. Kelly Bryant isn't in as good of a situation, in my opinion, with offensive wise and team wise. But both of these guys, so much to prove. The younger quarterback comes in, takes their job, and Jalen Hurts left with, the best way possible. So much respect for that guy, regardless if you are, a Oregon fan or whatever. Every single person in the nation has to have respect for Jalen Hurts, and that's something to be proud of as an Alabama fan, but also as Jalen Hurts, as a Jalen Hurts fan, because there's a lot of them now.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Jalen Hurts can do in this offense. We've seen the past two quarterbacks come out of Oklahoma. They've won the Heisman Trophy, and they've been the number one overall pick. And so I'm very anxious to see of how he fits into this offense. He's got weapons all around. Trey Sermon at running back, CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver. So what can
incredible, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. And so what Jalen Hurts does in this offense is going to be key for him to really gain some respect from himself.
Right, and that kind of takes us into our next topic, which is our Heisman Hopefuls. And Jalen Hurts, can he do it? Can he be the 3 in a row for Oklahoma?
I'll just go ahead and stop you
as
right
the Heisman?
there. Jalen Hurts will not win the Heisman this year.
Will he be in New York?
I mean, I feel like I could end up in New York playing quarterback for Oklahoma because they're electric, they score, it's fast paced.
Part of it, though.
But that's your Big 12. That's the Big 12.
It is. But so I do think. Don't forget about Spencer Rattler. Let me go ahead and say that. Spencer Rattler, their backup quarterback. If Jalen Hurts struggles at all, he's going to come in. He's going to be showtime. So, showtime. One of the top quarterbacks in high school last year. He was the number one pocket QB, whatever. Pro-style quarterback. Number one pro-style quarterback coming out of high school last year. He's really good. And I think that is going to push Jalen to do a lot better. He does very well under pressure. You guys know that. But, so with that being said, my other Heisman hopefuls, Trevor Lawrence and Tua. It's a three-headed race, in my opinion. For the main part, Oklahoma, that offense, they're going to get a quarterback to the Heisman race. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to run. They're going to pass. They're going to do it all. Tua, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, is he a top 12 quarterback in the NFL right now?
I've heard NFL GMs, rumors that said that they would have taken him first overall in this past year's draft when he was just a freshman. So
he's amazing.
That's got to say something to him being a top-tier quarterback. I mean, he has all the tools. He's tall. He's got a rocket for an arm.
Athletic.
He can move.
Good dude.
And he's got some sweet hair.
Yeah.
And
good-looking guy.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
He's actually not a good-looking guy, but great hair.
Yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence. Trevor and Tua, I think it's going to be between those two guys, and I think their stats are going to be crazy. But both of their stats, it may hurt them. Neither one of them have that tough of a schedule. They're not going to be playing 4 quarters every
Does Alabama
game.
play first game of the year? Don't they play a basketball team?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Alabama.
But we play y'all. Y'all are a basketball school, too.
I mean, Auburn wins at everything.
Was that good?
College World Series, Final Four.
Y'all win that? No, y'all blew it with a bobbled ball.
Alabama was sitting at home on their couches.
Yeah. We're a football school.
You can't win if you don't play.
On football. So, hope you've stayed. If you have stayed, please make sure to drop a like. You're very loyal if you're still here.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth it.
Oh, it was definitely worth it.
I think we gave you some very good content. And make sure to like this video if you want Blake to come back. We're thinking about doing a weekly picks video. Make you some money.
Rapid fire.
Very quick. Keep our record throughout the season. Thinking about it.
And show you how good we are.
Yeah, we're going to need some likes on this video, though.
We are going to need
If we don't get many likes, you're not coming back.
Save me for the sake of this video.
And like it, right?
Yeah.
Don't save him by not liking it. Some sleepers for the Heisman. some guys that may not be at the top of people's Heisman radars. I feel like the three guys that we mentioned are at the top of the guys' radars. With Vegas, those are the top odds for who are going to win the Heisman. Sam Ehlinger.
Dude is a baller.
Who does he remind you of? There's one guy that he reminds me of, and he probably passes a little bit better.
Who you got?
Tebow. A tough runner.
Yeah.
And that's who I think.
And Texas is coming on.
Oh. They beat Georgia last year. I don't really care about that. SEC, we don't really care once it's not the big game, in my mind.
Right. Happens every year.
Yes. You had to expect it. So, Sam Ehlinger, that's somebody that I am looking at. He could sneak in, make it to New York. I think he's going to have a really big year. When he's on the field, when he's healthy, he runs the ball a ton. He passes the ball a ton. And Texas, like you said, they're going to be really good. Colin Johnson is a really good wide receiver to watch.
That's right.
Huge dude. One of the best wide receivers to watch. So if you're watching a Texas game, look at the wide receiver, the really tall one that looks like Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, he's getting the ball.
Yes. I mean, really good. And then, so some of the, talking about tough schedules.
There are some tough schedules out there.
Yeah, so we're going to hit on a couple of tough schedules. If you want to start it off, you can. Yeah, actually, let me start it off, and then I'll let you have Auburn.
All right.
Auburn's on there.
Okay.
South Carolina. In our eyes, that is the toughest schedule in college football this year. They play Alabama, Missouri. And I put Kentucky on here, but I'm not saying that's a hard test.
And this is all consecutive here.
Yes, this is in a row. But it is a SEC game, and it's a rivalry game. Rivalry games are different. So Alabama, Missouri, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Texas A&M. And then they finished with Clemson.
That's a murderer's row right there. They might beat App State. They might beat Charleston Southern.
In North Carolina. They better beat.
And they might beat North Carolina.
So, if I'm the coach going into that season, I am getting really, really sweet with the athletic director, trying to keep my job.
Oh, I mean,
it's going to be hard.
Muschamp, we know what kind of coach he is. He's been in the SEC a long time. He can coach some defense. He hasn't really been as successful as a head coach, but I mean, if you're an athletic director and you see this on the schedule,
what can you do?
You can't fault Will Muschamp.
No.
He's going out there. He's putting the best product he has on the field. He has some great assistants. They've trying to recruit as best they can at South Carolina. But when you have Alabama, Missouri, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, then Vandy, App State, then Texas A&M.
I didn't even put Vanderbilt on here, but they're not going to be that bad.
I mean, Vandy is always
They have a really good running back and a really good wide receiver. I don't know who the quarterback is. But at the end of the day, it's still an SEC opponent.
Right.
It's tough.
So, South Carolina. If you're a South Carolina fan, I'm sorry for what you've got this year.
It's one of those things, though. If you are a South Carolina fan, you can just wear it all year long. It's like our schedule was terrible.
Yeah, it's like you've got excuses, but the next one I really want to get into is my Auburn Tigers.
Sorry.
It's going to be tough. You know, I predicted Auburn in the college football playoff. It's possible that it happens. It's a long shot. I understand that, but
it's going to be a battle.
As it currently stands, Auburn plays 6 of the top 13 teams in the country.
As of today.
As of today. We start with Oregon. We know what Oregon brings to the table. The next ranked team that we have is Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher's going to have those guys ready to play. Then we've got Mississippi State. They're always competitive. They always play Auburn super close.
SEC.
Then at Florida for their homecoming. So if we go into the swamp and get beat on their homecoming, you know, I could easily see Auburn's schedule derailing at any point.
I agree. That's one of the things with these schedules. I think it's so important to get off to a hot start because then you have that hope. If Auburn was to get beat by Oregon and say slip up on a Florida or Mississippi State just slip
Could
up.
be a downward spiral.
That's the scary thing. And you may be getting rid of the Gus Bus at the end of the season for that. I think it's so important to win. Getting through Florida undefeated goes a long way, and I think you make it to Georgia.
That's going to be that way. Well, and then after Florida, we go to Arkansas and then to LSU. So we spend 3 straight weeks on the road. That's a gauntlet right there, ending with LSU. Then we hit Ole Miss. Hopefully that's a win. And then we come back for Georgia, Samford, and then the Iron Bowl with Alabama.
Samford is catching them at a great spot. Let me go ahead and say that.
If there was any time that Samford would shock the world, it would be in between playing Georgia and Alabama. But Auburn's got the work to do. 2 freshman quarterbacks competing for the job right now. We don't know who it's going to be. Going into some of these hostile environments in the SEC, it's going to be tough.
And let me stop you right there, and that is something that we do need to talk about. The quarterback controversy in the NCAA right now, it's everywhere. And I love it. Personally, I love the whole competition thing. Who is your quarterback for Auburn? Who would you choose as a Auburn fan? And then I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it.
Well, Auburn currently has 2 guys that are up for the starting job. They come in with Bo Nix, true freshman, 5-star, number 1 dual threat quarterback in the country, son of Patrick Nix, who was a quarterback at Auburn in the 90s.
Pinson Valley, right?
He went to Pinson Valley. They won a state championship. He has won just about everything there is to win in the state of Alabama. So we've got Bo Nix on one side. Then we've got Joey Gatewood.
Great name, by the way. Both of them have great names.
Bo Nix, yeah, I could see both of them playing quarterback for the Auburn Tigers. So we've got 5-star Joey Gatewood on the other side. They're both dual threat. Joey Gatewood comes in around 6'6", around 230 pounds. He's a bruiser. People have compared him to Cam Newton based on his size. I haven't seen him play because Cam Newton is in a league of his own when it was in college football.
Right.
But we've got both of those guys. We've had 2 scrimmages. Both have thrown interceptions. We've had some freshman growing pains. So Gus Malzahn needs to make a decision here in the next few days.
I think it's very important for him to make it quickly.
As fall camp comes to a close, and we've got Oregon in less than 2 weeks, this team needs to know who's going to be leading them onto the field in Dallas.
And my question, and kind of to piggyback off of that, who would you say that you wanted to start?
Well, if it's taken this long into camp, I've got to go true freshman Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not separated yourself from the other competitor in this point, if you're Joey Gatewood, then I don't think you've got it.
Right. And now with the whole transfer portal and everything like that, the mindset of these quarterback battles has completely changed.
They can't waste time.
No, if Gatewood, if he's not picked, he's probably gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, so that's the tricky aspect of it, and also the awesome aspect of it. We have quarterbacks all over the nation now that are really good. There's not that many teams with 2 great quarterbacks, because if they are that great, they're gone.
They're gone.
And so I think that's awesome. I don't like, situations like Kelly Bryant that quits on your team or whatever. I get it. It was a tough situation. He didn't really do anything to really lose the job other than you have an NFL quarterback on your college team. So I do get it, but at the same time, don't quit on your team.
I saw a cool tweet from Cole Kubelik today. This is the firestorm that has taken college quarterbacking by storm since the transfer portal. So this is where players have transferred. So the number 1 team in the country, their former starter is now starting at Missouri. Number 2's former starter is starting at number 4. Number 3 has a former starter at number 13, and their former backup is starting at number 5. Number 6's starter is playing at number 5, and number 7's starter was previously the starter at Ole Miss.
Now we're not no mathematic magicians right here, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a great quarterback and you're not getting to play, you're transferring to a contender and you're playing for a top 10 team.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was what the whole transfer rule and everything like that was made for and I personally love it. Yes, Jalen Hurts transferred. So, I mean, Alabama's been hit with it as well. Great job on recruiting, but these guys should be getting a chance to play. It's their careers. It's their future that they're having to play for. A guy shouldn't have to sit behind a guy and wait for 3 years and not play. I mean, it's simple as that. And another thing, I think very soon it'll go from having to play 2 years or 3 years in college football. I think very soon it'll go to 2. And it'll be called the Trevor Lawrence rule. I mean,
because he's that good.
He's that good. And kids are getting bigger, faster, stronger every single year. Trevor Lawrence, I wouldn't be shocked, and this is a bold opinion, I would not be shocked if they win it all this year and he sits out next year for the draft.
Yeah.
If you're his dad, what do you tell him?
What left does he have to prove?
And he wins the Heisman. Wins the national championship. He sits out next year. What does he have to do? What do you say if you're his dad?
I mean,
go get your money and be the number 1 pick of the National Football League.
yeah. I mean, we've kind of seen that with Bosa here recently, playing defensive line coming out of Ohio State. So, I mean, I could definitely see him doing that. I mean, it would be a selfish move. But
would it be, though?
But when millions of dollars and your future is on the line.
That's what people don't argue at all. In the NFL, you see, Yeah,
if I was in that position.
I'm not playing.
No.
I have nothing else to prove. I'm the best quarterback in the league. I'm a starter in the NFL. It's a simple call. And I think that rule, you heard it here first, I think that rule is very soon. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence rule. They'll change it after your second year. You can go because it's simple as this. There's a lot of NFL teams that want him right now.
Oh.
They can't have him. A guy, Vince McMahon, that new league.
The XFL.
I wouldn't be shocked if he was the first primetime guy. He's got a ton of money that he can offer him. This is not an XFL video, but that's the top players that they're going to be going after. I don't think that a guy that is that good and ready should have to stay. He's just like Zion Williamson. Why could Zion go to the NBA and Trevor Lawrence can't?
I mean,
so that was a hot take, but I do think that it was very out there. The next team that we have for a tough schedule, Texas A&M, and these are SEC teams, and we say these not because we're SEC homers, but the fact that these are tough schedules, and these SEC teams, they beat the dog out of each other, and a lot of these teams are going to have bad records at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And the Pac-12, Big Ten, they're going to love it, and they're going to look at our record, look at all the losses, and probably hit us for it. Not going to lie, we'll probably have a lot of teams in that 15 to 25 range when essentially they're probably a top 10 team, top 15 team. Texas A&M, they play Clemson, Auburn, Alabama, Mississippi State, Georgia, and LSU. I mean, and that's in order. They do have some games in between, but those 5 teams, no easy game in those.
All of those teams that you just mentioned are capable of
being top 5 at the moment.
Yeah,
it's just going to be tough, and it's going to be tough to watch for Jimbo.
I mean, he don't care. He's got 10 years and 75 million.
Jimbo's doing fine. And now, in our next one, we're going to give some Pac-12 love just because we felt like we should. Don't know if it's that deserving. When you hear these teams compared to the teams that we just mentioned, you're like, oh, come on. So Northwestern, Stanford is the team. Stanford has a pretty tough schedule for the Pac-12 with Northwestern.
Respectable.
They play defense, but
they play good hard-nosed football in the Big Ten.
Yes. So Northwestern, USC, Central Florida. They beat Auburn, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Scott Frost is now gone.
Scott Frost. How about that quarterback?
Adrian Martinez.
Heisman sleeper.
He puts up stats, and so we'll see what Nebraska can do. No one's really talking about Nebraska preseason right now.
Yeah, everyone's kind of forgot about Scott Frost and Martinez. 3,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards last year. Definitely a player to watch. We didn't put him on ours, but he's definitely a player to watch. Nebraska is definitely a team to watch. If you look at their schedule, that's one of the easier schedules.
Yeah,
and they legit could make a run. Last year, everyone was high on them.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They kind of fluked.
Right.
That's a team. If they can get past Stanford, I wouldn't be surprised if they do very good.
Wait, we're talking about...
Actually, Nebraska doesn't even play Stanford. Look up Nebraska's schedule.
But if they did...
If they get past them, right?
That would be a tough day.
So keeping on with Stanford's schedule. Northwestern, USC, Central Florida, Oregon, Washington, and Notre Dame. Oregon, Washington, Notre Dame, those are really, and USC, I'll give USC, those are really the tougher games. Notre Dame is good. Ian Book.
Ian Book's good.
He's good. He's a good player. So I'm going to give Stanford a pretty tough schedule for a Pac-12 schedule. And so we're looking up Nebraska's schedule. It's not that much. He's going to tell you.
South Alabama, Colorado, Northern Illinois, Ohio State, that's their first tough game.
If they get past them, I think.
Next comes at the end of September. Then they play Northwestern, PJ Fleck in Minnesota, Indiana, Purdue, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Iowa.
So, like I said, I had looked at it earlier today. I didn't mean to say Stanford was playing Nebraska, but if Nebraska makes it past Ohio State,
that's it.
That is literally, they could literally make a run. Scott Frost knew what he was doing when he went to Nebraska, in my mind. So something that I do want to touch on before we go any further, I got to get it off my chest. Everyone kind of complains about Alabama's cupcake schedule. And I get it. It may look like that.
Because it is like that.
Everyone could do it. Do you think that we wouldn't be...
I mean, I wish Auburn played cupcakes every week.
Do you think that we wouldn't be what we are each and every year if we added one more good opponent?
I mean, Alabama's still going to beat people every year, but I would at least like to see a little more competitiveness.
I hear you. Well, this is my argument. Since 2015, going back to 2015, Wisconsin, which was a pretty respectable team
at the time,
USC, there was a lot of hype coming in for that game. So we can't help that these teams are so bad. That was 2016 was USC. We beat them 52-6. Sorry about it. Like USC, bring back Reggie Bush or something. 2017, Florida State with Francois. He was supposed to be
his ACL or whatever it was.
Rest in peace his career. I'm sorry, but Francois, we destroyed him and their dreams. He was a Heisman. Going into that season, he was a Heisman candidate. And we beat them, and everything else went downhill very quickly. In 2018, we played Louisville, and we couldn't help that Lamar Jackson left. I think that could have been a very tough matchup for Alabama if Lamar Jackson was there. Yes, and we scheduled that game when he was still there and could have still been there. So we do play cupcake schedules. And we're trying to change that going forward. I think Nick Saban's trying to change that as well. He's got a lot of heat from it. But I say all that, all these teams that we've played, we can't help that they were that bad.
I feel like Alabama could schedule like the 85 Bears or the 72 Dolphins. And the year that they played them, they would be terrible.
Yeah.
All-time great teams. Alabama gets them. They come in as a shell of themselves.
And I'm fine with saying that. And I will wear that. But you have to agree with these. Some of these that I'm saying. Florida State was literally supposed to be
the teams are big
contenders.
Names, but there is a lot of luck involved with it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll take it. So that's all I had to get off my chest about Alabama and our very tough and respectable schedules. So, wrapping up the show, our college football playoff prediction. This actually... We're not going to take that long with this.
No, we can run through it.
Bama, Clemson, they're going to be there.
They're there.
And then it's between, you pick two of these. Oklahoma, Georgia, Michigan, and Oregon. And I do have Oregon as a potential being there because I don't think that they even have to beat Auburn to be there. We've already talked about their schedule. So pick two of those teams.
Well, I'm going to go off the radar a little bit. I think Washington is another team that can get in there if they can slip past Oregon. Oregon or Washington, I think one of those two.
With Eason.
Jacob Eason, an SEC transfer. I think
the transfer rule is a good thing.
It's alive.
Don't abuse it, though.
And it's alive and well. Peterson, coaching Washington, his guys are always very well prepared. They can play. They know what to do. They know their assignments. So I think either one or two, one of Oregon or Washington, and then I'll take Oklahoma.
I think it's gonna be hard to battle with Oklahoma for sure. So, and then even if you took Georgia or Michigan, Georgia could easily be there, but I think that they may.
Or Ohio State.
Yeah, or Ohio State. I think Ohio State is losing a lot of people. It's going to be tricky to see what Coach Day can do with that new team. Essentially, would I be shocked if they're there? Absolutely not.
Does Michigan get over the hump this year?
That was actually one of my questions. Can Michigan finally beat Ohio State with Jim Harbaugh? Michigan also has the SEC quarterback,
Shea Patterson.
I mean, SEC is just giving to all these schools. So what do you think? Do you think Michigan beats Ohio State finally?
Well, we know one thing. Michigan under Harbaugh cannot win the big game. They haven't done it.
Good looking guy.
I mean, he wears khakis.
And glasses. I don't have my glasses on right now. I tried to touch him right there, but yeah, and he wears khakis.
But Harbaugh, I mean, he hasn't done it yet, so I don't have any reason to believe that he can do it. We know the Michigan defense, statistically related to the rest of the NCAA, is always great. Shea Patterson, does he take that next step, bringing that Michigan offense who...
Really good last year, by the way.
He was great last year, but that Michigan offense at times, it just gets in a lull.
Stagnant.
And they don't move the football. And when you do that against top-tier opponents... You're not going to win.
No, I 100% agree with you. So we're going to be going with Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and you said who?
I've got either one of Oregon or Washington.
Okay, Oregon, Washington. So that's our Final Four. And obviously you got teams like Ohio State that we didn't put in there, Nebraska that we mentioned but didn't put in there, Georgia, Michigan. Georgia could very easily beat Alabama in the SEC Championship.
They could.
They're really good. Do they get over the hump? That's one of those do they get over the hump questions. So, I don't know. This is a couple of fun questions to end it real quick. If you've already gone, whatever. What would you do to have NCAA on the sticks again? What would you do?
Oh, man.
I would do a lot. I would pay a lot. I would pay as much as my beautiful wife would let me.
First off, these players need to get their paying players, and they need to get all that figured out for the sake
of us.
I mean, we grew up playing these games. I mean, I would give anything to have it back.
Is it not enough money for you to just be on the game?
I know.
Like if I'm a college player.
So, that's cool.
If I'm Jalen Hurts and I'm on the cover of NCAA, which that very well probably would have been it.
Yeah.
I'm on the cover. You don't have to pay me a dime. Just put me in every single Target, every single store, and
it's there forever.
Forever. And people play it all day long.
Oh.
You say goodbye to Madden and 2K.
People still play NCAA 14.
With Denard
Robinson on the cover. He doesn't tie his shoelaces.
You can still buy it on eBay.
And it's relatively expensive.
Yeah.
For a 5-year-old video game.
It's very expensive for a 5-year-old video game.
So please, NCAA,
we're begging you.
If you hear this, for the sake of...
Like this video if you want to.
For the sake of that dude sports, please bring back NCAA football on the Xbox, on the PlayStation. Like this video if you agree with that. Comment down below and tell us some of your favorite plays you used to run back in the day.
Yeah, and I hope you're still here, and so you can like it, and we can get NCAA back.
And keep me on the show.
And keep my man Blake on the show. Last question, quick question. Game day or SEC Nation?
Like the TV show?
On Saturday, yeah.
I'm watching Game Day.
I am too. SEC Nation does a great job. but like there's nothing like Lee Corso.
I mean, Lee Corso kind of gets on my nerves at times, but I mean, he's a legend. He puts on.
Get out of here.
He puts on the not so fast.
Not so fast, my friend. Gosh. Anyways, guys, we're out. Thanks so much for being here. And we do have one more video coming up for you guys. We are going to be talking about our top 25 fantasy football players that we would be looking for, targeting in our drafts, our positions, wide receivers, whatever you want to know. So be sure to check that video out. Coming out very soon. And we'll be back.